Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here with another trip through Eorzea with Gavtia. We left off with picking up the Viper job quest, and I wasn't able to finish the first one because I had to leave and I didn't have a choice on that one. So let's go on out to what's Central Thanalan. Gate of Fall is probably the closer one. And what do we have to do? Oh, I need to turn this. Let me Google that for you too. And we need to turn something in Ul'dah for Manderville quest. I think I'm going to tackle the Manderville stuff another day. I'm not feeling it today. Been a little crazy this month. These here adventurers ran into a whole gaggle of the fiends we're after. They got pretty roughed up, but I saw to their wounds already, don't you worry. Before we go say hello to the troublemakers, I reckon I ought to teach you about the Viper's dual blades. Our techniques were created for the sole purpose of killing Tural Vidral. Most of them are meaner varieties of the things you might encounter in the wild, often with special powers to boot. To stand a chance against these powerful enemies, our ancestors looked to Vipers for inspiration, always twisting and turning to find the perfect angle of attack to take down bigger prey. Two blades for the twin fangs of a Viper to wield in tandem and strike with precision. They can also be combined into a single weapon that weaves and sways like the body of a snake. By switching between these stances, the Viper has a capacity to adapt to any situation. Now, the prey we're after tonight ain't nowhere near as fearsome as a Tural Vidral, but they'll give you a chance to test out your new skills. Let me know when you're ready. You've learned all Viper actions and traits to level 80. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under Character in the main menu. P is the default key to bring those up too. Now, I have mine set up in a certain way to work with my hands. Make sure they haven't been moved around. The beasts we're chasing supposedly work in packs. My gut tells me there's a whole bunch of them over there by that big old tree. Okay. Let's proceed. Your basic armor that you get meets the item. If there are any meaner beasties, they must be biding their time. All I see here is fodder. Though for practicing your new skills, they'll do fine. I'll stay out of your way and give you a few pointers. Let me know when you're ready. Start with the basics. There are two stances, Dual Fang and Viper. Dual Fang means wielding your two blades separately. Start by using either Steel Fangs or Reaving Fangs, then press the attack. To finish the sequence, switch back to Viper and hit him with Death Rattle. After using the Dual Fang weapon skills, Steel Fangs or Reaving Fangs, their icons will automatically change to the next action in the combo. By performing a second then a third attack in the combo, you will gain access to the Viper stance action Death Rattle. If you have Serpent's Tail assigned to your hotbar, the icon will automatically change to Death Rattle when it becomes available. Okay, so that's what I have here. These are my first two. There are positionals with this job. Time to practice your dual fang techniques. Start with an opener, follow up with a second, then pick one of the 4 finishers. Flank, sting strike, flanks bane fang, hind sting strike, or hind's bane fang. Clearly they hadn't thought about people reading these out loud. As you can tell by the names, each finisher works best from a certain position, but don't worry about that for now, just give them all a try. The 4 combo enders are flank, sting strike, flanks bane fang, hind sting strike, and hind's bane fang. Using a combo ender applies a bonus effect to the others. Then using a second attack with a highlighted icon will give access to one of the enhanced combo enders. Now try performing each of the 4 combo enders. Alright, let's look at these. Alright, let's give them a try. Basically, all you have to do, see how these are highlighted? Just click the highlighted ones. Good work, Yav. Looks like you got the hang of dual fang. That sounds suitably dangerous. That roar just now. Almost like it was telling him to clear out. Reckon there's a big old bastard waiting in the wings. And now it's sent us tougher opposition. Lucky for you, I've got just the thing for dealing with the Lumoxes like them. I'll tell you all about it when you're ready. Oh, tell me now. Alright, now for your Viper stance, where you combine your 2 blades into one to deliver powerful strikes. Perfect for tough opponents. Open with Vicewinder, then transition with either Twin Fang Bite or Twin Blood Bite from Dual Fang stance. The Viper stance weapon skill Vicewinder can be followed by Hunter's Coil or Swiftskin's Coil. Either of these secondary attacks allow the use of Dual Fang stance weapon skills, Twin Fang Bite and Twin Blood Bite. Alright, this is our Vicewinder skill, and it'll bring up Hunter's Coil and Swiftskin Coil, okay? They go running. That roaring's getting closer. Boss Beast must be pissed that its minions keep getting beat. And there it is. Time to take down a peg or 3. Just remember that what you're dealing with here. It ain't no pushover like the rest. Still, you got all the tools you need at your disposal. Show it what a Viper can do. I'm getting these procced up. These are your big vice finder. When you get that, use it. Not bad at all. Those were just the basics, but your execution was mighty impressive. Since you've proven you won't be a liability, let me tell you about the Tural Vidral we were up against. We call it Iksak Shmajun. It's an offshoot of the Brax, a deadly jungle predator, and after a series of mutations, this one's grown huge wings. Worse yet, it's smart as a whip and has a mean streak a mile wide. After learning of the beast, me and my most promising students set off to slay it. Facing it head-on seemed like suicide, so we laid an ambush. Almost worked, too. Almost. We thought we had it subdued and made our approach to deliver the killing blow, but we'd underestimated the fiend's cunning nature. When we got close, it lashed out, lightning quick, before taking to the skies. Cradled my brother in arms as he breathed his last. Oh, that's sad. Revenge is all I've been able to think about ever since. Traveled the length and breadth of Tural looking for that beast, with nothing to show for it but a half-dozen pairs of ruined boots. With each passing day, I grew more and more desperate. That was until I heard some folks who'd crossed the salt on a trade ship from Ulda. They claimed they'd seen a huge winged creature flying eastwards over the ocean. Knowing how clever Iksak Shmajun is, I reckoned it had gone in search of new hunting grounds, somewhere without an established threat like us vipers. So I bought passage on a ship, and here I am. Little did I know Eorzea would be damn near as big as Tural. I'm a fish out of water, and I ain't afraid to admit it, or that I'm going to need all the help I can get. That's where you come in. With you on my side, I might just stand a chance of avenging my fallen comrade. What do you say? Thanks, that means a lot. Let's get back to Ulda and see if we can't find some clues as to Iksak Shmajun's, or Smayun, whereabouts. I don't know, I gotta look that one up later. Might call him ISA, or ISX for short. Just because it's so hard to say that name. It's a tongue twister. As you saw at the Weavers Guild, chatting up folks ain't my strong suit. If you're happy to take the lead, I'm happy to follow, at least for now. I think you could ask the locals if they've spotted any strange creatures flying around. As for me, I'll study your technique, see if I can't brush up my social graces and whatnot. Keshqua is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Keshqua behind by entering a different area, or by speaking with him and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Keshqua accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While you're accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way that offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Rand? Flying beast? Why, yes, of late we've had sightings of such a creature. More and more each day. We're looking into it ourselves, but there's been no reported attacks, nor can I provide a more detailed description. As such, I can't say if it's the same one you're after. Alright, here's one of those conversation circles. Speak with Keshqua. It's not that I'm averse to chewing the fat with folks, but getting useful information out of them sometimes feels like drawing blood from a stone. Half the battle's choosing the right person to ask, I reckon. I'll watch how you pick 'em, see if I can't do better when it's my turn. Yeah, when I was on the ship here, I heard about this hunt your local companies seem to be running. We got a system like that in Tyrrell, too, mainly for dealing with a Tyrrell withdrawal. Naturally, the bulk of the work was handled by Vipers, but the scope's since been expanded to cover a wider range of threats. These days, pretty much anyone can take on jobs, and there's no shortage of them all over. If you're ever in Tyrrell, maybe you ought to give it a try. Yep. All right. Where do we got to go? Discuss the crowds of Uldal. Whole lot of people here. We got cities of our own back in Tyrrell, but this is something else. You know, to become a Viper, traditionally, you've got to live in this remote village in the mountains where you learn all you can about the habits of various beasts. Ain't much else to do out there, so anytime you get to yourself, you're expected to spend honing your skills. Once training's done, you're free to roam where you please. There ain't many Tyrrell Vidral that need hunting, but they can spring up pretty much anywhere in Tyrrell, so many say it's good to keep on the move. Me, though, I chose to stick around even after I finished my training. Gave me a chance to work on my swordsmanship. And instead of going out looking for work, folks came straight to us asking for help. That's how I got complacent and fell into the habit of letting my elders and students do all the talking and negotiating with outsiders. Even my passage here was arranged by an acquaintance. Ganelon. Yes, I'm a busy man. If you're looking for small talk, I suggest to look elsewhere. Ellie says, no need to be rude, Ganelon. He's a friend of mine. Now, what say you share your latest findings with us? I promise I'll make it worth your while. Ellie? Huh. If it isn't the mithralized Star Reporter, come to have a laugh at Ganelon's expense before returning to pen your latest front page feature, eh? Oh, very well. Just promise you'll put in a good word for me with the higher-ups, okay? Now, let me tell you this. There's strange things afoot at the Coliseum. Bugger all, it's a travesty, I tell you. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I forgot about these guys. Hotch, Hugh, and Hamo. Whatever's the matter, and where, pray tell, is Hutchin? The four of you will compete for the cup together, yes? I fear that an unfortunate mishap has left Hutchin in no condition to fight. We were just on the way to convey the dire news to Dower Meadow. Mishap my arse. This was sabotage. Some bloody coward out there will stop at nothing to eliminate his competition. I swear it on my subligar. This is jock straps. Lower your voice, Hotch. My head stings enough without your bloody shouting. Hutchin, should you not be resting your wounds? Oh, but forgive your incompetent, unworthy comrade. If I'd been quicker with my mantra, we would still be 4 men strong. Do not berate yourself so, Hamo. In victory and in defeat, the Mantravilles... instead of the Mandervilles, the Mantravilles fight as one. You bear no more responsibility for my wounds than I. Any road, I dare say I'll not be getting back into fighting Fettle by arsing about in bed. I'm ready to chant some mantras. How about the lot of you? Hutchin, for you, I am always ready. Oh my God. Now that's what I like to hear. 1,000 mantras, and I want each one to ring out over the Sigoli. Oh my God. The Mantravilles? Aye, as Hutchin tells it, they took their name from a training partner they met at the Fist of Roger, a man they most admired for his devotion and chiseled physique. Ellie says, consider me not the least bit interested. This talk of attacks on the competitors, however, of this I would hear more. Oh, yes. I mentioned that strange things were afoot, yes? With mere days left before the Mithril Cup, a staggering number of would-be combatants have withdrawn, citing a host of curious ailments and injuries. With the list of entrants shrinking by the day, the organizers have been forced to abandon the elimination format in favor of a mass melee between what few battlers remain. The Phantom Thief's Challenge. Gladiators dropping like flies. No, this is no mere coincidence. I would speak to the individual in charge of the event. Where might I find him? Ganelon says, through the concern sponsors the tourney, the day-to-day organizational duties are being handled by a fellow by the name of Dower Meadow. He should be in his office within the Coliseum's halls. I'll send word to the gateman, Yuyubaya. He owes the Mithril Eye a favor or two. Splendid. Come, Gav. We've got a case to crack. Oh, God. I forgot that Ganelon was part of the Manderville quest series. That explains a lot. Does she have anything else? Let's go find this Dower Meadow and see what he can tell us about the tourney. Ganelon said we could find him in his office at the Coliseum, yes? With gladiators dropping one after that next, I've had to rewrite my Mithril Cup preview 5 times in the past 2 days. Make that 6. All right. Didi Lada. What? A winged creature? Ah, well, I've only heard the rumors. They say it has a dozen faces ringed with red, wriggling tentacles, and it shoots beams of light from its eyes. Of course, it's all too common for those with more money than sense to bring in bizarre species from distant lands, and the trouble with rumors is that they grow ever more fanciful with each retelling. Well, damned if I know how you did it, but you and your silver tongue got useful information out of folks. Even if none of it amounted to a solid lead, the knowledge that ISX hasn't kicked up a proper fuss yet is a clue all in itself. I reckon it's taking its time to get the lie of the land, having only just arrived here. All right, now I've seen a master at work, I'm going to try my hand at talking to the locals. Now, don't get ahead of yourself, or the best way is to learn by doing. Couldn't agree more. Besides, I've faced meaner foes than a few tight-lipped city folk, and if I make a fool of myself, so what? I'll just ask someone else. And it just so happens I brought with me a whole bunch of herbs and knickknacks from back home that I can sell to keep myself fed. Might take a while to find any solid leads, but at least I can get by for the time being. So, those are the ones who slew my pets, interlopers on the hunt for my next darling prize. Little do they know it's lost interest in Thanalan. Just as well, its fickle nature may yet bring us greater delights. I'll be doing my damnedest to get more information. Might take a while, though, so come see me later. And don't forget to practice your Viper techniques. Okay, we gotta be 82 to pick up the next one. Well, since we started 8-armed and dangerous, let's go for it. Wasn't my plan to do today, but that's all right. In the Mithril Eye, you say, then by all means, you are free to enter. I'm Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. Never blinking, all-seeing, you know the deal, yes? And you must be Dower Meadow. I was hoping I could ask you a few questions about the upcoming tourney. Who am I to argue with free publicity? And from a charming little thing like yourself. Ask away, me girl. My God, that outfit. That said, between the challenge from that so-called Phantom Thief and now these bizarre attacks targeting the fighters, our tourney is nearly the talk of the town. Not that you'll see me complaining, provided something's still left to fight, that is. You're free to investigate as you wish, but you'd be smart to exercise some caution. Needless to say, recent events have everyone here a bit on edge. Why, just moments ago, one fighter almost took off another one's head for insulting the color of his sublet. Looks like we got ourselves another... These two aren't in the entry books. Oh, God. And our challenger unleashes a vicious right hook as the gentleman inspector was challenging his strength for his next attack. Channeling his strength. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Inspector Briardian. As efficient as ever, I see. Hildibrand, a true gentleman, eschews violence, Inspector. Briardian says, you were thinking. It annoyed me. Dower medal, I presume? Tell me everything you can about the prizes for this turn-in. Try to be brief. I was wondering when you might ask. Master Feargeist has spared no expense in making the Mithril Cup the most lucrative tourney this Coliseum has ever seen. The victor will receive a true treasure from his collection, the Warden's Grace, a ring fitted with the largest sun sphere you'll see outside a Karn. Second and third place prizes are nothing to sneeze at either. But I don't care how many faces he's got. We've nothing to fear from this thief. The concern has hired an elite regiment of storm torches to watch over the vault day and night. Yes, just as the brass blades were so successful in stopping the thief last time. If you want your treasure safe, go fetch them and bring them to me. And be quick about it, I haven't all day. Fear I can't do that, Inspector. After all, what proof do I have that you ain't Mr. Many Faces in another of his elaborate get-ups? No, if you want to get your hands on the spoils, you'll have to claim them as any other would, in battle. As a matter of fact, what with the ranks thinned as they are, we're actively recruiting new competitors. The more the merrier, and the more lucrative at that. Har har har. Thank you. Now, where did our reception get off to? Over here, you slimy bugger. We've got some fresh blood for the melee. Give me a moment, will you? I've only got 8 arms. Or were they legs? Slobbering cephalopod. You called? I was just about to give the lovely Miss Avila the grand tour. Inspector Hildibrand, look! He's purple! Oh my god. Astute as ever, Nashu, this color, this overabundance of appendages. I smell a case. That's just my receptionist, Ultros. Don't be startled now. He's an ugly little bugger, but he's friendly enough. Word has it he's one of many bizarre creatures born from a recent experiment with ancient incantations at the Thaumaturge's Guild. They were going to seal him away in a hole in the desert with the others when he opened his slobbering mouth and started pleading for his life. I just want to live in peace. I'll do anything, anything. So the management hired him to perform odd jobs about the Coliseum. And am I ever glad they did? I tell you, this job ain't glamorous, but it sure has its perks. Ultra says, what a delicious morsel. I want to get my tentacles around her. Oh my god. I know not who you are or where you hail from, and I do not care. If you dare challenge me, my Tempest Blade will show you no mercy. You can forget about your case, Inspector. There's only one who will claim the victor's spoils, and that is me. Oh, I just love it when she talks tough. Now, who's the chump who wanted to get a pummeling by my lovely little Avi? Hildibrand says, though a gentleman takes far more pride in rescuing fair damsels than fighting them, I fear we have little recourse. I, Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, inspector extraordinaire, shall do what must be done to... Briardian, Gavtia will be entering the tournament on my behalf. Gav Tia? You do look like a Tia. Well, bugger me with a spear! To think I've seen the day when a warrior of light stood in my coliseum. Hear that clink, clink, clinking? That's the sound of gil pouring into our coffers when the public finds out that a true Eorzean hero will be stepping into the ring to fight for the Mithril Cup. Oh, and I reckon your friend can tag along, too. Show him where to sign, Ulti. God. Ellie says, with Gav, I suppose we have as good a chance as any. Now, we just need to make sure he doesn't come down with some curious injury. Regarding that gladiatrix, Avila, was it? Seems quite certain of her chances at victory. Suspiciously certain, I would say. Hildibrand says, I am already 10 steps ahead of you, Inspector. That Ultros fellow seemed most knowledgeable about Miss Avila. Come, Nashu, the investigation is afoot. Ellie says, as much as that sounds like an amazingly productive line of investigation, might I suggest that our first priority is to keep Gav here safe? Let us return to Ganelon and see what else he can tell us about these mysterious attacks on the combatants. Riardian says, very well. I shall leave this task to you. I have a lead of my own to investigate. Should you uncover any new information, I trust you will share it with me at first opportunity. They were closing the door. Hildibrand says, I suppose that our questioning of Mr. Utros can wait. Let us see if this Ganelon fellow can enlighten us. Ellie says, look, I know you're the warrior of light and all, but we can't afford to take any chances. Be on your guard, Gav. You again? I've already told you that. What? Entered the tourney, you say? Are you out of your bleeding mind? Look, I've got a suspicion or two, which I'm happy to share with you, but in the end, you have to protect yourself, you hear? So I've been asking around, and it seems that more than a few of the fighters who pulled out of the tourney were scheduled to fight a warrioress by the name of Avila. Now, I can't make any promises, but my instincts tell me this girl is bad news. But don't take it from me when you can hear it from someone who crossed blades with her just days ago. A fellow by the name of Raging Rat had the misfortune of being matched up with Avila in the preliminary round and earned himself a right bruising from it all. Last I heard, he was resting up back at the Pugilist Guild. Why don't you pay him a visit? Do you have anything else? Nope. Oh, right over there. Okay. I could have just run over there. Raging Rat. Come to have a good laugh at old Raging Rat's expense, have you? Well, you're not the first. Say, is there not a man in this entire realm with an ounce of sympathy? Hildibrand says, greetings, good sir. How fortunate you are today that your guest is Hildibrand Manderville, gentleman and inspector. Now, if you would, please enlighten me as to how exactly it was that you were beaten to a bloody pulp by Miss Avila. Raging Rat says, gentlemen, my arse, have you not a whit of delicacy? Never you mind. Look, the wreckers may say I lost, but I'll admit to nothing of the sort. I shouted at the top of my lungs if no one else will. That girl doesn't fight fair. Tempest Blade? Some kind of foul sorcery, if you ask me. Mark my words, that girl is up to no good. If she weren't so damn easy on the eyes, she'd be rotting in jail as we speak. Girls Alamegan, or haven't you heard? You know how it is with those refugees. Why fight with honor when you got nothing to lose? Ellie says, yes, and why not disparage an entire people in a pathetic attempt to salvage your sorry pride? This one's a real piece of work, Gav. Let's be on our way. I didn't mean no offense, miss. Just telling it like it is, as it were. Nashu says, perhaps it truly is some manner of sorcery, as the fellow says. Or perhaps she works with an accomplice. Ellie says, she didn't strike me as the magic-wielding type. If I were a betting woman, I'd put my gill on the ladder. Hildibrand says, "Ah, Miss Ellie, the thrill of the chase has struck a chord with you as well. Yes, I can see it in the wrinkles beneath your eyes." Oh my god. Never want to say that to a woman. "We might very well make an inspectress of you yet." "I'll give you a good wrinkle, you insensitive boor." If what the man says is true, it's likely that her fellow Alamegans might sympathize with her plight. An accomplice would hardly be out of the question. "Yes, I can see it now. Two unfortunate souls shunned by those around them, united by destiny and a common desire for justice." Ample appendages whirling wildly, sending gusts of wind flying every which way. Avila and Ulti, a match made in the heavens. Were it any more obvious, I could have solved this case without leaving my home. Now she says, "Incredible! Your powers of deduction will never fail to amaze, Inspector." Ellie, what is it with you two and that infernal octopus? "Mr. Ultros should still be at the Colosseum. Let us hurry before he slithers back off to whencesoever he came." All right, back to the Colosseum, I guess. Shh, friend, and look over yonder. Behold those exquisite legs, those stylish tentacles, the unearthly undulations of his squirmy, squishy body. Yes, our friend Ulti is a most fascinating creature indeed. Behold how he carefully eyes the gladiatrix before him. What manner of mischief is he plotting? He speaks. Yes, this is a most suspicious thing indeed. I suspect he said something inappropriate to the girl. Oh, what is this? The girl has fled in a panic. Our friend Ulti appears to be discouraged. Look at the way his shoulders sag, or how they would sag if he had shoulders. It's going off after the girl. Our quarry is on the move. Quick, Nashu, we must pursue. Where do we go? We have to go from here. I need to do this just so I don't get lost. Hildibrand says, "Aha, there he is. You will not escape us so easily, Mr. Ultros." Mr. Ulti seems to have found himself another gladiatrix. What might he be plotting this time? Look at those succulent legs. I reckon they'd taste just wonderful in a good marinara sauce. Just gonna have calamari. Marinara sauce. Ah, he speaks. And another girl rushes off. Whatever did he say to her? He looks so sad. Shall we douse him in lemon butter and put him out of his misery, Inspector? Whatever is he doing with those girls anyway? Trying to flirt. Ellie says, "Call me crazy, but I think he likes them?" Okay. We're gonna leave that here for now. I can only stand so many subligars before I gotta take a break. Alright, speak with Yuguri. Alright, we found our little hidey hole here. I think we might have a fight in here. Seeing it as it is Zenos. All that remains is to wait. I trust that you are ready. Yep. Well, hi, Jakey.
He comes.
The village is not far, my lord. If it please you, we shall escort you there directly.
Less a province than a graveyard. The rotting husk of a broken nation devoid of proper sport. But as his radiance wishes...
Yes, of course, my lord. And may I say how terribly sorry we are that you had to come so far.
We labored long to sow the seeds of hatred, of fear, to train them as beasts. Now we shall see the harvest. Let there be savage beasts baying for blood, and not hollow-eyed prey cowering in the dark, or there will be no joy in this hunt.
Come on. You gonna come up? Come on. I'd rather you didn't walk in front of my screen.
Shinobi? And me without my brute.
How weak you are. Is this the sum of your hate?
This is only the beginning. For Lord Hien! For Doma!
Ah!
Mayhap I shall test this new blade of yours. Let us hope it is to my liking, lest your misfortunes compound. Then again, I'm loath to expend such effort on the unworthy. Come, earn the honor.
Get out of the vein splitter. Oh, I took a bit of damage with that one. I think he just kind of casually walks. Oh, we want to be out of that one too. Very well, I suppose you have earned this. This is not a game, you twisted, arrogant bastard.
This day you die. Leave this to me.
So
All right.
empty. Well done, beast. You've earned the right to look on the Ame no Har.
Let us put you to the proof.
No, I must fight on.
Run, beast, run! Give me something to remember.
I'm gonna walk out of that. Come on over here, guys. You're better than most, I'll grant you that, but not good enough. This ends now.
I see. Ah, I remember you. Al Amigo, the champion of the savages.
Look ye where the sun doth rise, see crimson embers darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall, see azure lost amidst the squall.
How right I was to spare your life. Hear me, hero. Endure. Survive. Live. For the rush of blood. For the time between the seconds. Live. For the sole pleasure left me in this empty, ephemeral world. Live! You are not worthy.
Get away from them, you imperial dog!
I get
No,
goosebumps.
don't. You must flee.
We're not going anywhere, do you hear me? We're not running away! What you're doing is stupid and reckless, and I never wanted any part of it, but here we are! I've spent my whole life hating myself. For every time they made me beg, for every time I held my tongue to protect the people I love. And then you came along and reminded me of all the things I never said and never did, and it was even worse. I would have given anything to forget, to walk away, but I knew I'd never be able to live with the guilt. So we came, all of us, for you, for ourselves, for Doma!
Death is death, regardless of the reason. Yet you seem determined to die, intruding upon this sacred ground, turning weapons you can scarcely wield upon me. Your lives will not even begin to redress the balance.
How wrong you are! Go, now! Gusetsu, see to Yukiri.
Aye!
I can't see a damn thing. Someone stop them! My lord?
Ooh, that little smile. "'Tis naught that will not heal with time." He says, "It's all right. Here, have some water." Yugiri says, "Ugh." "I don't think we were followed. Gods, I have no idea what was going through that man's head. But I'm heartily glad he decided to leave. Oh, and don't thank us. Thank Alphino. He's at the House of the Fierce, patiently awaiting your gratitude. You should have seen the way he turned pale when he heard about Yugiri's plan, and how you, of all people, had decided to help her. He was in such a panic, barking orders, calling for a squadron to be assembled." Gosetsu says, "As were you." "I was rather composed, as I recall, though that is neither here nor there." Actually, let me switch to Dragoon. Get the XP on that one. Too funny. All right, what does the Alize have to say? Right, everyone ready? Gosetsu, "'Tis not that will not heal with time." Does she have anything? I can manage on my own. Probably not, but okay. Issei is beside himself with emotion. Can you believe it? We faced the Crown Prince himself and lived to tell the tale. You've no idea what this means for us. Everyone's talking about getting more weapons and armor, and we're not going to stop until we've taken back our homeland. Ah, right, getting a bit ahead of ourselves, aren't we? We've got wounded to tend to first. We should get back to the village. All right. There was this hilarious subreddit thread I have to find. So, somebody asked, which Zenos y'all like the most? You had a choice between the Endwalker Zenos or the Stormblood Zenos. This guy replies, Samurai Zenos carried a unique golf bag sword holster as well as the entire bakery. Reaper Zenos can't compete. Somebody else replied, I laugh so hard about the golf bag. I imagine him choosing which club to use for each enemy he faces. Somebody replied, We've come to the next green where Zenos is once again aiming for under a par 3. He looks to be up against yet another optimistic soul. As always, our thoughts go out to their families and we wish them an expeditious grieving process. It looks like he's going for the 21 titanium. No, he changes his mind to the dreaded 13 Titan copper, known far and wide for its sheer cleaving potential. The hapless soul is on approach. He sets up for the swing. Oh, and he's gone right through him. Bits and pieces are landing everywhere around, and this commentator is certainly very glad for the nosebleed vantage to what cannot be described in civilized words. This will be his 15th hole-in-one of the day, and it looks like we're moving on at Zenos' usual snail's pace to the next green. I just died laughing. Somebody replied, I appreciate you, but not how I laughed, snorted root beer through my nose. Well done. I just died laughing when I read that. Because I could just totally see it. Alright, let's, we gotta speak with Issei. Back at Namai. Issei says, how are you feeling after fighting that demon? I can only imagine. I suppose I ought to apologize for, you know. Anyway, thank you for not giving up on us. The shinobi, too.
How are you feeling, my lady?
Much the better for my comrades' ministrations and your most generous hospitality. You need not worry.
Good. If there is anything else we can do for the two of you, anything at all, just ask.
If they're any harder and you like to burn a hole in them, go and say your piece, for goodness sake.
I've got nothing more to say to them. I'm going to find out how the others are getting on.
Gosetsu, Mistress Alize, I owe you an apology. I acted with reckless disregard for my own safety, and endangered I know not how many others in so doing. Scorning your wise counsel, I knowingly defied our master's wishes, and left you no choice but to follow suit.
Nonsense. I followed our master's wishes to the letter. Consider once more his words. and the intent therein. In offering his head, he but sought to shield his people from harm, loyal retainers included. You must value your life more highly, Shadow Walker.
On the other hand, your recklessness did serve as an inspiration to many. Mayhap you should not be so hard on yourself. In any event, if you must apologize profusely, it seems only right that you expend as much effort thanking the one person who supported your plan from the first.
That it does. There are no words which will suffice. But thank you.
And there they are!
12 be praised. When I learned of your rather questionable plot to assassinate Zenos, I feared we would need to recruit a new primal slayer.
I'm sorry we couldn't be there. Alize made me swear to stay behind no matter what.
Why?
I think she was worried I'd hurl myself at Zenos the moment I set eyes on him.
Oh, okay, fair.
What? You'll forgive me for changing the subject, but now would seem a good time to discuss where we go from here. Though the Empire has yet to retaliate, the fact remains that we have revealed our presence and signaled our intentions in so doing. It is only a matter of time before the Imperials move against us. Given that we lack the strength to oppose them, 'tis plain some manner of brilliant stratagem is required. Therefore, I yield the floor to the preeminent tactician of our time, with whom I was privileged to share a room.
Oh my god.
If you insist. While in Kagane, we debated a number of approaches and were eventually forced to concede that we cannot look to the Alliance for aid. Even were it possible to ferry sufficient forces and materiel from Eorzea in a timely manner, such a massive undertaking would not long escape the attention of the Empire. It would be a miracle if our ships reached the shore. Fortunately, according to Tataru and Hancock's intelligence, the Empire has withdrawn most of its forces from Doma in the past year, leaving her relatively unguarded. That being the case, a popular uprising, spearheaded by the full might of the Doman Liberation Front, may feasibly be sufficient to threaten the seat of provincial government, namely Doma Castle. 'Twould be rather easier said than done, of course, but I have seen worse plans prevail.
Then we must needs meet with Lord Hien and convince him to return, for there is no surer way to inspire our people to rise up as one. He desired proof of his subjects' conviction, and they have provided it, through no less a deed than openly opposing Zenos himself.
It will work. It has to work. And next time, we will defeat him.
All right, speak with your comrades. Where are they all? Lisa says, I wonder what kind of man Hien is. From what I heard, he's about the same age as me, and then there's Fordola, who isn't a whole lot younger than us both. Like her, he was born and raised in an imperial province. This is all he's ever known, but unlike her, he chose to do something about it. I want to meet him. I want to know why. Maybe if I understand that, it'll help me to understand a lot of other things. Oh, Lise. Brains were not your strong suit, God bless you. Our countrymen's deeds speak for themselves. Lord Hien cannot deny the truth of their hearts. Too long has it been since I looked on his face. It would be of great comfort to see him again, and no small comfort if you were to join us in the search, I should add. I will be traveling to the Azim Steppe, Gav. I found Lord Hien once before, and I'm confident I can do so again. Moreover, it was to me whom he put the question of Doma's resolve. I feel it my duty to deliver to him our people's reply. Alfino says, in the meantime, how shall I occupy myself? Okay. Elise says, the beloved king returning to urge his countrymen to rise up in rebellion. Not a story you'd ever hear in Sharlayan or Ul'dah, is it? Alfino says, not in those words, perhaps, but no land's people is so cynical to be wholly immune to inspiration. Singular individuals have the power to move hearts and minds no matter where they go. And he says, doubtless you speak from personal experience. As much as this Lord Hien intrigues us, Gav, there are vital tasks to be attended to here, preparations for the inevitable assault on Doma Castle, for one. There's also the manner of coordinating our efforts with the Confederacy and our comrades in Kugane, dealing with this troublesome Aetheryte. I could go on, but you understand. Does she have anything else? As I said before, we've a million things to do here. Much as Alfino and I would love to join the search, we cannot, right, brother? Aye, so it goes. We all have our responsibilities. Yugiri says, we shall depart for the Azim Steppe at once. Osetsu says, you will be joining us, Gav. Yep. Elise says, for our part, we shall do what we can to aid the Doman Liberation Front in your absence. We will refrain from conducting any large-scale operations in your absence and instead devote our energies to bolstering our ranks and training our new recruits. When you return, we will be ready for war. Lee says, if anything happens, if you need us to come back sooner, you'd better contact us. Noble sacrifices are a last resort, remember? Yugiri says, follow me, my friends. We have many malms to travel before we reach reunion. Issei says, wait! Don't leave yet! Here, take these for the road. It's simple fare, but it's the least we can do for you after what you did for us. It may be stupid and naive of me to say this, but I will. When you come back, we'll finish what we started. We'll beat the Imperials and we'll win our freedom. So, don't keep us waiting too long. Cutscene. Meanwhile, in the keep of Doma Castle.
I would expect no less of Bahamut's conqueror. Prepare the airship. His Radiance will not object. We have fulfilled our obligations here. I would see this prize for myself. Do you understand why I appointed you to act in my stead? You, whose only accomplishment was to whisper the right words in the right ear. Because of your petty hatreds.
They render you the perfect instrument to bleed your kinsman of hope. To make an example of Doma, such as was ordered. Listen well. If you yield Doma to the rebels, you will not be given another chance to beg forgiveness. Do your duty, now. Or die with the rest of them.
Such an SOB. Such an SOB. I love him.
Oh, are you all right, my lady? That was uncalled for. Oh!
They say your Eorzean is helping the rebels. I want him dead. I want his friends dead. I want the heads of everyone he knows and loves mounted on the castle walls.
You mean I can finally go after him? I've been waiting for this chance. I promise you, milady, he won't escape this time. Not this time, oh no.
Ooh. Meanwhile, in the fringes of Girabania. Aye, this is the place.
When his shade was banished, you swore to leave this life behind. And yet here you are. Yet, if this be the work of the eyes, what choice do you have but to end it? Or so the boy would say, damn you, Alphino.
Alright, welcome back, Estinian. Alright. We can fly in Yangsha now. Alright, what does the Alphino say? A pity we have no time to speak at length, but there is no rest for the righteous. Godspeed. Elise says, we both have long roads ahead of us. Good luck to us both, eh? Elise says, what kind of place is the Azim Steppe? Rosetsu says, I should not be surprised that he sought refuge in the steppe. We were separated during a skirmish in the northern mountains. Yuguri is ready to guide you to the Azim Steppe. If all are ready, let us depart for reunion in the Azim Steppe. Our route will be somewhat circuitous. We will need to return to the Ruby Sea and head north along the coast, past Tisari. Anything else for us? Alright, nope. Here, there be Shayla. Okay. Perchance to Hanami? I wonder what these blue quests are. Alright, we're gonna defer doing those. We'll come back to them eventually. Let's, where do we gotta go? Follow Yugiri to Isari. Yay, we can fly again. Put me in my happy place. Oh, there she is. From here, we will turn north until we arrive at a cave, though, through which we must pass in order to reach the Azim Steppe. Lise and Gosetsu have already gone on ahead. We should carry on as well. Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh, let's get this lookout. It's gonna drive me crazy otherwise. A small fishing village situated on the eastern coastline of Othard. Its name a reference to its livelihood. For a time, the Confederacy had something of a presence here, operating out of a little shack and collecting its ruby tithe. Ah, there you are. This is the cave. After you, Gav.
I remember the emptiness, vast and endless. The Azim Steppe, home to countless roaming tribes. A sacred land, watched over by elder gods. Here, we would find Doma's salvation. With the wind at our backs, we walked on, in search of hope, in search of him.
Gosetsu says, Othard is vast and filled with many different peoples. I know next to nothing about the Shayla and their ways, but we shall learn together, shall we not? He says, it's very flat, except where it's not, I suppose. Words of wisdom from Lise. I give you the Azim Steppe, Gav, though I should say that this is but one small portion of it. Despite the close proximity, Domans rarely venture this far north. Most find these lands and their people strange and foreign. Fortunately, those who frequent Reunion are more welcoming than most. Come, it is not much farther. Oh, nice. There's a ether current right handy. I like how there's a way up in case you fall into the gorge there. We are going to attune. Good day to you, sir. Do you wish to hire a falcon porter? I say this is not your first visit to the stop. In that case, I shall add your name to our register for your future ease of travel. Well, here's Orn Kai. So scaly. Did it just speak? Well, as these energetic children have come to me, it feels only natural that I try questioning them first. Perhaps your time would be best spent asking some of the more mature Aura if they know anything of the dragon Gyoto mentioned. Black dragon in these parts? Sure, I know of it. The storytellers say the fiend awakens once every few decades and goes on a wild rampage. When it's had its fill of destruction, it returns to its lair in the northwestern mountains and slumbers. If any tribe were able to slay such a beast, it would bring them great honor. We Oranir have had our eyes on it for some time. Now let's talk to the Mender. Alright. Nothing got broken, which is good. Dotharli Maiden? You are looking for the dragon, are you? I did hear that there's been a sighting recently. First one in 100 years, apparently. Not that I believe any of that nonsense. It would not surprise me if the whole story was dreamed up by some fool Oranir and his cups. Quiet kiss, dear. Seems you would be better served asking elsewhere. Okay. Gav, help! These children are not playing nice. I do not suppose you have fared any better. And it's said to live in the northwest? If the dragon has truly been sighted recently, our timing is perfect. I'm glad we did not come this far only to find it in the midst of a deep slumber. Let us head for the mountains to the northwest. Now, children. Do you not think it is time you are making your way back to Mommy and Daddy? We grown-ups have business to attend to. All right, we will come back to that later. We'll be heading up in that direction anyway, eventually. I must confess that this is my first time on the steppe. He says, is it just me or is everyone here Jayla? Yeah. Welcome to Reunion, my friends. Here's where we will begin our search for Lord Hien. There's a simple plan for finding him. When last I spoke with Lord Hien, he said he spent much time in these markets. I had hoped we might find him here today, but alas. Lee says, hey, Yugiri, I've been meaning to ask. There are an awful lot of Jayla here, aren't there? Oh, I assumed you knew. The Azim Steppe has been home to the nomadic tribes of the Jayla since antiquity. More than 50 roam these lands, and though they do not constitute a nation, there is a hierarchy of sorts determined through ritual combat. Funny, if they're so busy fighting each other, you'd think the Empire would be able to march and take the steppe with ease. I wonder why they haven't. Why indeed, Lys? Why indeed? Perhaps they see little value in it, especially given the fierce reputation of the Jayla warriors who would fight tooth and nail to oppose them. Yugiri says, these lands were not made for men. The soil is thin and the weather unforgiving. The Jayla found ways to survive, it is true, but they are made of sterner stuff than most Imperials, conscript or citizen. Thanks for taking the time to explain. It sounds like I've got a lot to learn. Later, I mean, we're meant to be looking for Hien. People from many tribes gather in reunion to trade goods and information. I should be surprised if we cannot learn something of value here. Let us make our inquiries separately. Gav, why don't you speak with some of the merchants here? $643 yams to the northwest. I got a feeling it's up in the Dawn Throne here. Chambui. Booze, fresh booze, your choice of lamb or so. Guaranteed to satisfy. How many will you have, sir? Eh? A doman? Unless another Daskar is keeping him in her yurt. He is not here. More fool her if she took a doman for a husband. But enough about domans. Let us speak of booze instead. You cannot come to the Azim Steppe and not sample this most traditional of delicacies. You there. Why don't you have a booze in your hand right now? Ozbeg. What do you do here? Gazing into Ozbeg's cold, dead eyes, you realize that he is responsible for monitoring the merchants that trade in Reunion. What kind of place is this? Unflinching, Ozbeg continues to stare into the distance. You turn and notice that he has his eyes locked on the marketplace. It appears Reunion is used by traders from all over to sell their various wares. He says nothing, but you discern it just the same. What fortune you have to come hither at this time, freshly slaughtered, every cut available on request. Organs too, hearts, livers, brains, or a brace of blood sausages if you desire only a snack. A doman? Poor meat they make, domans. Ah, I jest. I did see a young mall in the company of one some few days ago. Does she have anything else to say? Are you sure you do not wish to purchase anything? Organs as fresh as these will be gone before you know it. Yeah, we can buy stuff here. Not that I need any of it. Well, hi, Jakey. You want to come up here? Come on. Oh, come on. Biter. Roasted fish with pumpkin, an exotic foreign delicacy. Cooked to perfection, beloved without the step. Come, come. You seek domans? Then you are come to the wrong place, my friend. Delicious as my foodstuffs are, they find little favor with those from the south. Now, if it were Goro you were looking for, on the other hand, then I might be able to help you. They flock to my stall. What else does he have to say? Doubtless you know well the wonders of Western cuisine. Then I need not persuade you to partake, yes? Come, come, eat your fill. Tamachag? The Kestir believe all words are merely lies. That is why they do not speak. It is also why I am forced to deal with so many troubled travelers unable to understand Reunion's ways. I do not enjoy the role, but there are a few others here willing to explain things orally. Well, that's interesting. Traveling jeweler. In case you need stuff here. What level are these? 66. Okay. Level 66 gear in this area. Why, that exotic aura you emit. You must be a traveler from far-off lands. Can I interest you in some kumis? Akujin. Where shall we go next? The cat keeps wanting to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Suvd, I came here to sell my wool, but no one seems interested. I suppose the only tribes who would be are those that live to the north. Goro Horsemaster, I've brought you a new brush, my beloved. So smooth and silky your mane shall be, the envy of every other man. Say again, you are seeking who? Ah, the Doman. I know of whom you speak. He comes and goes with the mole girl. Though I could not describe her, I only know that she is mole because I heard them talking as they passed. With the chat in Say, use your keyboard or the software keyboard to enter any phrase that contains mole to ask the Jayla in reunion if they are of the mole tribe. I am Ura, if you must know. Come down from the mountains in the north, if there is nothing else. Enter any phrase containing mole. How about mole chick? In Say chat, use to enter any phrase that contains mole. I'm in Say chat. Okay. Okay, I feel like an idiot. I'm wondering if there's some specific phrase I actually have to put in here. You actually don't need to. You take me for a mole? I'm Oranir. Compare me not with one so weak and lowly. Okay. So their quest markers will not go off when you talk to them. And it doesn't really matter. I did not think it would be so expensive. Yes, I am Mole. My name is Serena. May I help you? So you're looking for Serena. Oh, I see. You are looking for Hien in that case. Maskud says, how urgent this business must be to leave our conversation unfinished. The Kinsai, will you buy it? There's but one bundle left. If not, then... I will, though I had not thought to pay so high a price. It is a bargain for which you should be grateful. If you lack the coin, then the fault is your own and you will leave with nothing. Please, I must have the Kinsai. The gods themselves requested it. We are bound to their will. Pay me the difference in whisper root. I will sell it to the next apothecary to pass through reunion, and we will each feel fairly treated. But do not tarry. Should another come before you, coin in hand, I will not refuse him. I understand. Thank you for this kindness. I'm sorry, but we must speak of Hien later. I cannot leave reunion without the Kinsai. I got a feeling we're going to be on the hunt for Whisper Root shortly. Those boots aren't too bad looking, actually. I might keep those. Okay. You want to help me? Is that it? Yep. I do not know what to say. Thank you, Gav. Thank you. The lumbering ones we must fell. Wander the plains to the west of Reunion. If we each harvest 2, then we should have enough whisper root. Return here when you've finished. And good luck. Alright, let's go on out there. Welcome back, Kev. Have you brought the whisper root? A common if valued ingredient is Jayla medicines. Blessed is he who shows kindness to strangers, for with fortune does he ever ride. Will this quantity suffice? It shall. The Kinsai is yours. The gods favor you more than you know, child. Udgan rarely have need of such herbs, and so my stock is limited. Had you come a day earlier or later, I would have none for you. Perhaps the gods guided me here as they guided grandmother, as they guided this man from the west.
Hey. How goes the search? Any luck?
What fortune to meet a friend of the young master!
Well met, Cyrena. If you have an inkling as to the current whereabouts of Lord Hien, we should be most grateful for your assistance.
Oh, please! It is I who should be grateful.
Hold! What is this? I came first, you second! Know you to whom you speak? All people of the steppe should. Or have you fought so much that you have forgotten the fate of your superiors? Superiors? I spit on your superiority, little prince! Twisted and mad as sand devils your kind are!
Men.
Those two don't seem to like each other very much.
Those boys are of the Oranir and Dothal, the 2 strongest tribes. The children of Azim are destined to rule, so they declare to all who will listen. Their word is law. For now, grand, flamboyant fighters, but deadly, very deadly. He prances as a horse, as do his brothers after their many recent victories. The Undyne ones too are strong, fearless, and vicious. They often reigned in the past. Now they are sorely tested. Ah, The master of the markets. He is Castir. To fight in reunion is forbidden, and to break the peace is to be banished forever. This he says without words, for words are lies to the Castir. They do not speak.
That's interesting. And all these different tribes share the same lands, do they? No wonder it's tense.
I shall look for you on the field at the Naadam. Mark my words! As shall I. Mayhap I shall take 11 more Dothar heads to make a dozen with yours. I look forward to the day.
The dispute will be settled at the Naadam?
A great battle held on the final day of the Sahan-San. During this time, all bonds of hierarchy are broken. All Zayla are equal and free to prepare for the fight. The tribe which triumphs in the Naadam rules until the next Sahan-San. Which in these lands is now.
Ah, so that is what they call the custom. I presume your tribe will also be taking part?
Not all seek the Dawn Throne. Some are satisfied with their lot. Others, like the Castir, have reason to remain neutral. Them all are lambs among wolves. Long were we content to remain apart and live quietly, but... Never mind that. You seek Hien, yes? I know where he may be.
He says, I like a good fight as much as anyone, but we should probably find Hien and head back to Doma as soon as we can. If she knows where Lord Hien is, then what are we waiting for? Ask her. Yugiri says, the people have spoken and Lord Hien will heed their words. He must. What do these look like? They're very flamboyant. They're a little more subdued. Kind of cool looking boots, actually. I'll take the casting ones when I get the reward. Long ago, my grandmother, having received a vision from the gods, bade me go forth into the southern mountains. It was there that I found Hien, near death from many wounds. I brought him to our village, and there we nursed him back to health. Afterwards, he chose to remain that he might repay us for our kindness. Domans set much store by honor and shame, so at first I did not question it. Excuse me, if I could see your map for a moment. Here, he has grown fond of this place. It affords him a view of the markets and the steppe. I would accompany you, but I must return to our village to prepare my grandmother's meal. Thank you again for your assistance. Yugiri says, our long-awaited reunion is at hand. Come, my friends, let us go and greet our lord and master. Now we have some blue quests. Tamachag. Yes, Tamachag is not in the best of spirits. Hello, traveler. As it happens, some of the local Kesteri merchants have been dealing with a problem involving your kind of late. Reunion is run by the Kestir. It will not do you any favors to displease them. The tribe is famed for its dislike of speech. They believe that all words are merely lies. The Kestiri way is to show your intentions through your actions. Nothing else shall suffice for them. And yet a merchant from far-off lands has recently appeared in Reunion, trying to force the Kestir to trade by using the very words they despise. Ignorance is no excuse. I have seen others attempt to explain the local customs to him. However, it matters not what anyone says if he will not listen. I would appreciate it if you were to take responsibility for this buffoon. No doubt he is still in the the Han's tent harping on. I want to say Khan, but it's pronounced Han. Hien is actually way up top. Took me a while to find him the first time. He's at the very top of that rock. We're going to go there in a moment. Purple rain. Gasco. You'll have to excuse the names of the subaquatic the submarines. They're very entertaining. I don't suppose you'd fancy taking part in this conversation anytime soon, would you? If I've done something to displease you, you need only tell me what. Gasco says, just who would you happen to be? If you're here to trade, then you'll have to wait your turn. I arrive first. What's that? You're not a merchant? Well, are you aware of the funny customs these Kestir have? Apparently words aren't much use, only actions will do. I was told as much by members of the other Auri tribes, but I just can't bring myself to believe it. How can one run a market if they refuse to speak? Regardless, it does not appear that I stand to gain much from continuing to rely on speech, if even a fellow outsider such as yourself is telling me to follow the Kestiri customs. I suppose it's high time I acquiesced. Now that I think of it, if you're not a competitor, would you perhaps be interested in working with me? Seek me out if you'd like to hear more. It seems she's glad to see the back of Gasco. This seems to be the Kestir tribe's Han. He welcomes you to reunion with a smile. It's been an eternity since I last had the chance to talk with a fellow traveler. The name's Gasco. I belong to the East Aldenard Trading Company, and I've been stationed in the Far East for a while now. I used to work at our Kugane office until a short while ago. Word has it won't be long before Doma fully escapes the Empire's grasp. Very few merchants are going to pass up such a good opportunity to trade with a newly independent nation. I've always been a pioneer myself and decided that I would make certain I was the first to explore this new potential trade partner. I've brought bags full of foreign goods to impress the locals with. Yet despite this, I'm unable to convince them to even talk to me, never mind take a look at my wares. If only they knew what harrowing obstacles I have overcome just to be here. Countless levies paid to pirates, daring escapes from fearsome bandits and beasts. I could go on forever. And what is my reward? The icy stare of a Kestiri woman. Until today, I had never met a lady that thought me anything but a charming gent. As it seems I alone am not up to this task, I wish to ask for your aid. Knowledgeable adventurer, if you help me convince them to trade, I promise you untold discounts on everything I have for sale. No need to be alarmed, friend. I merely wish for you to help me learn the Kestiri customs. I would not dream of asking you to threaten them or force them to help me with my work. Or force you to help me with my work. Their culture is unlike anything I've encountered so far. If I am to get anywhere, I must study all of the customs and deities that govern their day-to-day lives. Only then do I stand a chance of convincing them to trade. This information shall doubtless be equally valuable to you on your travels. Why, if I weren't such a humble man, I would demand you show your gratitude to me for giving you this opportunity. Yeah. Sure. This Audarkeem warrior has his eyes on a particular kind of flower. Could I ask you for your help? I have no one else to turn to. I have searched all over the Azim Steppe for one single flower. Someone told me about it. Told me that it was sold in Reunion, but I have had no luck here either. Could you search for this flower for me? It shall not be a dangerous task by any means. No, I should not lie, least of all to a visitor to our land. It will be a job fraught with peril, for the only way to obtain the flower I require is by slaying a purble. If you are willing to help, you should be able to find some north of here. Please, slay 3 of them and bring me back the flowers. Purple Rain. Play on a Prince song, Purple Rain, which is actually a really good song. Were you able to get 3 of the flowers? Pungent flower, a foul-smelling herb. Looks like a purple clone flower. Oh my, that stench! Quite ghastly indeed. I suppose I should tell you just why I needed these flowers. I belong to the Adarkim, the largest of the Zela tribes. Recent events have led to me being considered as a future Han. The position brings with it much power and pleasures, but by the same token, it has given rise to bitter and bloody rivalries. My older brother was a candidate before me, but after no less than 8 attempts on his life, he vanished with nary a trace. In his absence, I have risen in the line of succession, meaning I am now the marked man. Ugh, I did not ask for this. Alas, wishing that it were not so will not stay the daggers in the dark. That is why I sought out these foul-smelling flowers, to ward off would-be assassins, and thanks to your help, I may enjoy a moment's respite. In the meantime, I will set about finding a permanent solution to my problem, that is, finding my brother, Adkire. Unless I do so, there will be no peace for me, save in death. Actually, Anarchy is in Idleshire, next to Shlowy. Alright, let's find our way up this hill that we gotta find. Yep, there he is. And that's Hien.
The Kami are merciful! My Lord Hien, I see you are alive and well.
Ah, you are come sooner than expected. So, my blade or my head? Which would you have of me?
The people of Yansha remain loyal to Doma. I have seen the fire in their eyes. They are ready to rise up and fight. The time is ripe, my lord. Return with us, blade in hand, and lead Doma to freedom.
Naught less than liberty will suffice, then. A pity. It will prove far more difficult to deliver than my head. But if my people wish to pursue an impossible dream, then who am I to deny them? You, Giri, Go-Setsu, and,
all these other people.
The Scions of the Seventh Dawn, my lord. Good and true friends who opened their hearts and homes to us when we fled to Eorzea. Far across the sea they have journeyed to stand with us in the fight for Doman liberation. To oppose the Empire, as they have in the West, where they are lauded as heroes for their many deeds.
Say no more, Yogiri. Say no more. I observed how you helped Serena, to whom I am deeply indebted. For that and for the aid you provided my people, you have my deepest gratitude. There is no doubting your strength nor your character. It would be my honor to fight by your side. So, what of Doma? Arise, my friends, and tell me of our home. I have made my decision. You, Giddy, I bid you return to Yanxia and take charge of our forces in preparation for my homecoming. As for our esteemed guests, I would ask that you remain here with me. I sense you will be a great help in the coming days.
Your will is my command, my lord, but how much longer do you intend to stay?
Oh, only until I have won the contest? I mean to return at the head of a Zayla army.
You mean to participate in the Naadam?
Yep. Have you a better idea? Consider how soundly we were defeated before. The Imperials may have since grown weaker, but we are weaker still. It would be folly to challenge them without first supplementing our forces, so yes, I intend to win the Naadam and enlist the aid of every able-bodied Zayla I can. Furthermore, by championing the mole in the contest, I can at last repay their kindness. Lest you forget they saved me from certain death, and a man who suffers such debts to go unpaid is without honor and unfit to lead.
Just so, just so. Our lord has spoken, you giddy. But take heart. I shall keep him safe. And should it come to it, bring him back by force.
This is no laughing matter, Gosetsu. But if these are my orders, very well. Once more, I place my faith in you. Pray look after them both.
Looks like it's up to us then. Though it does seem a bit risky. Isn't Hien meant to be the next king of Doma or something?
So they say. Though in truth I am but a pale reflection of my late father. All the more reason to entreat your assistance. For ours is an impossible dream. To set in motion a revolution that will rattle the very firmament and shake off the yoke of the most powerful empire in the world.
Gosetsu. Has he truly recovered from his wounds, I wonder? I believe a match may be in order. He's a lot more straightforward than I expected, and he's certainly not short on confidence. But maybe that's the kind of leader Doma needs if they're going to beat these odds. And hey, we've come this far, haven't we? Who's to say we can't go even farther? Gavtia, was it? Once again, allow me to thank you for your many deeds in service to Doma. For 25 years did my father rule in name only. My rule, if one would deign to call it that, has been naught in comparison. That changes now. We have a purpose and a plan, and after we take to the battlefield together, we will have victory as well. But you are a practical man, I can tell. Disinclined to trust in words when actions speak truer. I can relate. Hien is, if nothing else, an optimist at heart. Alright. Stars in the Dark, level 65. We are halfway through the Stormblood expansion. So, you two have heard of the Naadam, the great battle for supremacy of the steppe. I learned of it during my stay with them all. To my knowledge, no foreigners have ever participated, much less triumphed in the Naadam. But lack of precedent notwithstanding, I should think we would have good standing to bid them march with us to Doma, should we win. Gosetsu says, will they even permit us to fight, my lord? We belong to no tribe of the steppe. Hien says, we are not without options, given what Sirena has told me. You see, in accordance with the god's wishes, her people shall participate in the coming Naadam. And when they take the field, I mean for us to fight alongside them as fellow warriors of the Maul. But we need not discuss this at length here. Come, let us head north to Maul Ilo, where Cyrena and her people have made camp for this season. Ooh, mammoths. Okay. That's on my Clan Centurial log. Okay. Cyrena came all this way by herself. She's braver than she looks. Rosetsu says, the beasts are never far. I saw more than a few stalking us as we walked. Truly, these lands are fraught with peril. Hien says, my friends, I give you Maul Ilo. The Han of the tribe, Temulin, resides in the largest yurt. We should go and make our introductions. Yeah, after I kill this mammoth. $257 yams to the northwest. Let's unlock this Falcon Porter first. Good evening to you, sir. Do you wish to hire a Falcon Porter? Oh, not at the moment, but okay. I think it's up there somewhere. Ah, I see it. Up there. Okay. I was thinking we'd be able to find one here. I think that ether current is up in the actual city up there, which we can't access quite yet. All right, let's go back to Maul Ilo. He says, it's smaller and more cozy than Reunion. And is that music I hear? It's strange, but somehow comforting. Rosetsu says, for all the grand promises my Lord Hien has made, it would not do for us to falter now. We must earn the Maul's blessing. Hien, I am told you have a knack for making excellent first impressions, Gav. Why don't you lead the way? Sure. Here's Cyrena. Oh, it's you. Where are your comrades? Did you find Hien? Yes, we did. At last, the traveler comes.
Tamarun Hatun, Cyrena, I am returned.
Ah, you found each other.
Ours is the soil, Hien. The Domans, and the Eorzeans, too.
You know us?
The gods know you, child. As do the stars in the heavens, which shone bright at your coming.
The Maul hearken to the whispers of the elder gods, which guide us in our daily lives. We know them through the Utun, like my grandmother.
Hatun, I am come to beg a boon of you and yours. that I might liberate my homeland, I seek to rally the strength of the steppe. To that end, I wish to fight in the Naadam as a warrior of the Maul. Will you grant me this honor?
To stand with the Maul is fruitless. Hien, do not do this. The gods may have willed that our tribe join in the Naadam, but there is no path to victory. We are weak and our numbers few. Even with your help, it would be impossible.
I thank you for your concern, Cyrena. But it is precisely because of the seeming hopelessness of your cause that we must needs cast our lot with you. Were we to join hands with a more favored tribe, our victory would inevitably be attributed to them, and no one would follow me to Doma.
He's got a point there.
"'Twas the gods' will that we fight. Mayhap this too is their design. Hear me then. As Hartoon of the Maul, I invite you all to join with us in the Naadam.
Oh yeah, more fighting.
Will you look after them?
Come with me, friends. There is much I would show you.
You... wait. I would have words. A singular radiance, shimmering, like a jewel of the Dusk Mother, blinding in its brilliance. Stars flicker and flock to you. Before such gathered light, even the secrets of the gods may be laid bare. Some are fated to rise in grace and glory. Others to falter and fade, though not from memory. Both will be your strength and salvation come the end. Cherish the stars and the light they bring you in the dark. For you are a traveler, are you not?
Wheresoever you go, remember that you are not alone. Remember that you carry the fire for them, and they for you. Gosetsu's how confident and bold in speech he has grown. More and more he reminds me of his father in his youth. Lee says, I guess we'll have to beat some strong opponents to win this Naadam. But that's good, isn't it? I mean, if they were easy to beat, they wouldn't be worth taking back to Doma, would they? Okay, well, there's, yeah. I'll take that point. Though I have spent much time with them all, I have yet to fully grasp the nature of the... I don't remember how to pronounce this word. Utun and their insights. That they value the chance encounter and the potential fortune it brings, however, is plain. Let us try not to disappoint them. Cyrena says, thank you all for coming and for offering to fight with us in the Naadam. Though I still fear our chances grim, I am grateful for your assistance. To be recognized as warriors of the Maul, there is a trial you must overcome. But before we speak of such things, there is another, more pressing matter. Alright. We are going to leave it there for tonight. We made a fair bit of progress today, and we will pick it up next time. Let me get our cat joke for tonight. Why is the cat scared to look under the bed? Because of the Meownster. Meownster. Yeah. Right, guys. On that bad cat joke note, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications, all that jazz. You know what to do, when to do it. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out for the night. We'll see you next time when we continue our journey through the Azim Steppes. And I might learn how to pronounce some of these words. All right, you have a great one, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer signing out.